here is another way that you can effectively use your time to weed out the people and find the personalities that you're looking for. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So in the previous segment of this multi-series program where we're talking about how to build a sales team, we talked about the hiring process or the recruitment process. Once you've actually recruited and you have applicants, the next logical step is to obviously schedule the interviews. Now, this can take a ridiculously long amount of time from your role as a sales manager. My suggestion, and this is something that I've had to learn over time, is you don't have to be the one to schedule the interviews. You can farm that or delegate that task out to somebody else. Maybe you have an assistant that you work with, or obviously there's going to be a receptionist at the dealership. They have downtime and you can allocate that task to them. All you need to do is give them a block of time and give them the resumes that you have that you've shortlisted. How are you going to do that? So pick a day, pick a time frame from, let's say Wednesday from 10 to 12. And this is when I want to do sales interviews. And you tell your receptionist, hey, here's the people that I'd like you to reach out to and see if they're available in this time slot to come in for an interview. So that actual scheduling piece is done. Then you can check back in with the receptionist a day or two later, see how many candidates we have. My next pro tip on how to do an interview is something called a group interview. So here is another way that you can effectively use your time to kind of weed out the people and find the personalities that you're looking for. So let me explain how a group interview works. Basically what this is you've told your receptionist or whoever you've delegated to make these interviews that we want candidates to come in this time slot. When they actually arrive, you're going to group them all together. So number one, what's going to happen in their brain, they're going to see, oh, it's not just me coming in for an interview. There's this person and that lady, and there's a bunch of us coming in for this interview. So it kind of gets their wheels turning as to, this is something different. It's not your normal interview. Then you're going to bring them up into an area, maybe a boardroom or something like that, where they can all sit comfortably, and you and anybody else on your hiring team. And I would definitely recommend that it's not just you doing a group interview. You need to have a minimum of 2, ideally 3 people who are going to do this group interview. So one person is going to take the lead. The other 2 are basically observers. The one person who's taking the lead is going to ask some very basic questions. Number one, go around the room and have them introduce themselves and give us a 10-second blurb about who you are and what you do. Okay? So as you do that and you go around the room, right away, your 2 observers that are in the room with you, they'll start to pick up on certain personality traits, how somebody presents themselves, how somebody talks about themselves, how confident or not confident they are about being put into that type of situation. Because remember, you're hiring for a sales role. These people need to be outgoing. They need to have confidence behind them for you to be able to have successful sales out of them. So that first round of, hey, who are you and tell me a little bit about you, that won't take too long at all. Depending on the number of applicants you have, could take a couple of minutes, could take 10 minutes. The next question you want to ask, and again, this has nothing to do with sales. What was your last social media post? Or something like that, something very innocuous where you can talk about something that they do, something that they may like, something that they may enjoy. And I find that social media might be one that, kind of everybody is involved with these days. So they will tell you exactly what they've done. And this is something that they have personally done, so people tend to get excited about that. So you're gonna start to see their personality come out a little bit more. As you go through that question of what was your last social media post and tell us a little bit about it, again, your observers are going to be looking for clues about that person's personality. And this is what the group interview is all about. We're not looking for skills here. You've already seen that on the resume. You already know what skills they have based on the paper that you saw. But what we're looking for here is the fit and the personality. So the second round is, what's your last social media post or something like that. And then the very last question is, why do you want to work here? So let's see if they've actually done any kind of research on your company. Let's see how eloquent they are about, basically pitching themselves to how they want to work with you and for you. Are they just coming in looking for a paycheck, or are they coming in looking for a career growth opportunity, something that they see more of a long-term future? And then at that point, you're going to send everybody away. Once you've asked 3 questions, that's it. You don't need to ask any more. That entire process, again, depending on the number of people that you've had in the room, might take half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. And you could have gone through 10, 12, 15 people And now you have a very good sense of personality. So once the group interview is over, let people know, hey, thank you very much. We will be reaching out to those people who we would like to have back for a formal interview. And we'll also reach out to the people who didn't quite fit into what we're looking for right now. So have the courtesy of letting people know that, hey, you know what, thanks for coming out, but this time you weren't quite what we were looking for. And then those people who, after you sit down with your other two people that have done the observation, you're going to have a very good sense of, out of that 10 or 15 people that you've talked to, there's probably 2 or 3 that, all of you agree on that, hey, I really like this person. I really like what they said when we asked this question. Get those 2 or 3 people back in. Now you've done a lot of the weeding out. You've already got their skills based on the resume that they used to apply. Now you've also got a glimpse of what that personality is like. Then we go into a formal interview process with these people. And that's the part that we'll talk about in the next section of this series. So join us then.